Hey guys, this is an EGG1E1 production. So, Legion is just around the corner and I have been playing beta a lot. So I've picked up quite a few things that I really love about Legion and that I have noticed in the beta that has been really cool to do, and a few things that I haven't enjoyed as much. So today in this video I'm going to bring you my top 5 features in Warlords of Draenor Legion. Leveling and leveling speed. If you really want to push leveling in Legion, you can do it in under 10 hours, which I personally like, but some people that I have spoken to have said that they have cherished the leveling experience for over double the time, and they've also had a bunch of fun doing it, and they've taken it all in. How quick you can level is something that some people really kind of love, but some people also hate. People will always say that in vanilla it took over a year to level and it was great, but I personally feel like the game has shifted away from that and shifted from what it once was. For people like me, I play for the end game content. I want to get to max level as quickly as possible so I can experience that capped character content. I know that most people disagree with me on that, and that's okay, but I personally find leveling boring. Blizzard though have done a really awesome job for those people who disagree with me on that fact, and those people who find leveling fun. With the way that leveling works in Legion, it's easier than ever to have a bucket load of fun while questing in Legion. The quests are more varied and more interesting than ever. There are quests where you even get to be the quest giver and climb up mountains using hooks and harpoons and all that crazy cool stuff. The amount of fun and engaging quests go on forever. And also, not to mention, they've made it so much easier to level with friends. This is because you can go to any zone that you want at any level. So for instance, if you're leveling in zone A, and your friend is leveling in zone B, and you want to level together, you don't have to worry about what stage of questing you're on, because you can both just hop over to zone C and start leveling there together, and it doesn't even matter what level you are. So for instance, your friend could be level 100, and you could be level 109, and you can still level together. So yeah, there's plenty of fun to be had while leveling, even for those people who aren't as boring as me and will just blast through it without taking anything in. Artifact weapons. I just love the artifact power system and the artifact weapon system in Legion. It's basically a talent tree that you earn over time by filling basically a second XP bar while doing your normal Legion-y things. It's great for those people who really love the talent trees when they used to be in the game, and it's especially great for those people who say, "I played in vanilla when there was talent trees and it was great." One reason why I really love this game is the constant progression of your character. It means that I can go to bed every night and say, I feel good because I've done something today. Like play World of Warcraft. The artifact power system just amplifies that feeling. I love how for almost everything that you do in Legion, you get some artifact power, which means that I'm getting some sort of benefit out of doing things that will be useful for my character. It's just really great to have something that I can always be working on all the time. Like, I can do a dungeon, or I can do a world quest, or a raid boss, all of these things that I probably wouldn't usually do, and I can still be satisfied doing them because it's all for the good of my character. The artifact weapons also can give you an artifact ability and a couple of abilities that you get from leveling your weapon, and for most classes this is really epic. Like Death Knights, for example, can summon a Syndragosa that flies in from the sky and it just wrecks all your enemies, for God's sakes. Like, it's awesome. And also the artifact skins, in most cases, for most class, look really awesome. And the artifact also can unlock some really cool hidden vanity things that you can discover. So hidden artifact traits is what they've been called. So for example, as a warrior, you can be randomly resurrected when you die by Odin, and you have to fight for like 8 seconds to stay alive for him to keep you stable, for you to be like successfully rezzed. Like, that is so awesome. I also like how when you're leveling artifacts, it can also be really friendly for your alts and for your off-spec as well. There's a system that's been implemented where you get these like little researchers that do some research, or as I call advanced Googling. That means that your artifact power game can be quicker, so you can catch up on your off-specs and your alts. It's just really cool, all the things that they've put in, and I really like artifact power. The new Druid Forms. I'm sorry to all the non-druids out there, but to you druids, oh my god, look at this! The Druid Forms are just phenomenal, so they had to make a mention here. And I'm slightly biased as I'm going to be playing a druid, but these are just amazing and they look so good. Look, there's like a neon bear. That is so cool. So yeah, I really like the new Druid Forms. You can play all of your specs. I think this might be my favourite change in Legion, but now you can play all of your specs. So this is because that they've done away with dual spec, and I know that some people might say, oh, I played when dual spec was a thing and it cost 5,000 gold and it was great, but I think for most of us, we think that this is a great change. Now, this means, for example, you can play 3 specs. You can play all 3 specs, or in the case of the Druid, you can play all 4 specs. So, say I'm like, I'm DPSing away, and the tank leaves, I can be like, you know what? That's fine. I can tank, and then I start tanking, and then a tank joins, but the healer drops out. I can be like, you know what? I can just swap to healer. I can heal. It's great. It just unlocks a new versatility in the game. I can play any spec at any time. It's really, really great. Now, this is also complemented by the way that gear now works. So gear works the same way as it did in WoD, where like your headpiece and your main armor pieces can be both intellect and stamina, or both be agility and strength, or whatever. In Legion now, they've changed it even more so you can play all of your specs. So all of your jewellery now can be used by every single spec. So your rings, for example, will have the main stamina on them, and then it will also have a few secondary stats on it. It won't have any strength or spec agility stat. So you can just swap to any spec that you want, and your gear will change, and your jewelry can be used in all specs. It's just really cool, and it unlocks a whole new versatility in the game, and I think it is awesome, especially because I play a druid. Mythic Plus Dungeons. Mythic Plus is a harder version of Dungeons than normal Mythic mode, and it may finally do something that Blizzard has been striving for and the players have been calling out for ages. And that's that Dungeons will be difficult and relevant all the way throughout the expansion. Blizzard may have finally added something that the rose-tinted goggle guys like, and I've heard a lot of them say, Dungeons were so much harder in vanilla, now it's just a face roll. So I think that these more difficult dungeons may appeal to those sort of people. Much like the challenge mode system of the past, Mythic Plus is a timer-based dungeon system. But unlike challenge modes, Mythic offers some pretty decent gear. The way that they work is similar to how Greater Rifts work in Diablo. You require a keystone to enter Mythic Plus, which can be gained by doing a normal Mythic dungeon. Then, with that keystone, you can enter a Mythic Plus dungeon and try and beat the clock. If you are able to beat the clock, you then gain another Mythic keystone for a hard version of the instance, which will add or plus to the difficulty. You can then continue this until you can no longer complete the dungeon within the time limit. When you do inevitably fail to beat the clock, you will still gain gear if you complete the dungeon, but you will not gain a new keystone. Also, each keystone that you get will probably have a new affix on it, which means that the dungeons will get harder. So for instance, mobs may explode when they die, or other things like that. I really love this system because it feels like it might make dungeons relevant for the whole expansion. I also am very competitive, so I like the way that challenge modes worked in Mists and WoD, so I think I might like this system so I can compete against my friends and see who can clear the highest level dungeon within the time limit. Also, it gives another awesome way of gearing that will give me more options other than raiding, so I can again do more fun things with my time. And there we go, guys, that is my top 5 favourite things in Legion. There are so many more awesome things in Legion that I couldn't mention in this video, but if you have a few favourite things in Legion that maybe you've tested by playing on the beta or just seen some of the content online, then please feel free to comment. Otherwise, thank you very much, guys, for watching. This has been an EGG1E1 production, and I will see you next time. Want to play Spec B? You can play it. If you want to play blah 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 blah.